Okay, and we are live, and this is another kind of scary time because the internet was just like not being awesome today. Like, it kept going out a lot when I was just trying to watch some YouTube videos, and it's like, oh no, is it broken again already? That's awesome. I'm just really quick trying to get my links in order just so then I can wait a second, is this current? Hang on, wait. It's still showing chat from last time in my stream of right now. That's weird. Anyways, I have no idea what's going on with that. Because I was like, wait, oh my gosh, did we just get the exact same message as last time? But I thought, no, it's not popping up here. So it's just like showing the same thing as last time. That's weird. But I'm just really quickly gonna tweet out that we're live really quick. Just gotta get like my links and everything like that. This is gonna sound silly. I still feel so unsure of how to do that with with YouTube. Because like there's a thing called like the YouTube link. I mean, you have like your stream URL on the YouTube side of things. I'm like, is that the link I'm supposed to copy and paste? I don't know. I'm not sure. Hang on. Let's do some quick R&D. That's what I mostly use this like stream for anyways whenever we're playing this game. So hang on. To your hang on. And I have a story to share after we do this. I probably definitely should have done this before the stream, but then I was like, it'll be fine. Hang on. I'm mistyping things really quick. This is also one of the reasons I never type anything out, because I'm like, I don't know. I feel like the link I always send out with my YouTube stuff isn't right, because I always just go to like my actual thing and like my actual like live stream itself and just copy and paste that like link. And I'm like, I don't know. That feels weird. Oh my gosh, I'm also really struggling just to type right now. Hang on. Up. Do. Hang on. Wait, isn't there just like a share option over here? I think that there is. Maybe there isn't. Maybe there's not. Hang on. Also, something I really want to work on, not this week, but next week, is getting a lot of stuff into... No, there isn't. There isn't just a... Wait, is this the share button? There's the share button. Oh my gosh. I'm so stupid. I thought that there was a link, and I was right, and I just never used it. Bada bing. Hang on, let me put a space there instead. Hello? Twitter just completely shut down on me. Oh, that was so scary. Yeah, let's just go ahead and go like that. Tweet it out. We are good. Bada bing, bada boom. Let me just close down some stuff. So, really quick, I've been sharing like some... What's the best way to put this? It sounds so stupid, but the best way to put this is sushi lore. Basically, I have a horrible sushi addiction that's just been like progressing slowly over time. And it started off as like simple, like, oh, I'd get it. Like, I found out that like there's a local market nearby that sold it for like a couple of bucks for like a pretty good roll that tasted like super good. So I was like, you know what? I love sushi. I'm just gonna come by and get some of this sometime. And like, that occasional get like a sushi roll like every couple of weeks turned into getting it every couple of days, into getting it every single day, into I'm slowly starting to find rice in the pockets of all of my shorts from how much rice I'm eating because of these sushi rolls, into today where it finally came time for like me to like go out and get lunch or make lunch or whatever. And instead of being like, oh, it's lunchtime, I get break time now, I go, oh my gosh, it's time for sushi. Like, and I realized that's what I've been thinking to myself, like, all this week and all last week. I mean, I say all this week, but it's just been today. And, like, most of last week was like, it's not lunchtime for me anymore. It's just sushi time. Because that's all I've been eating. So I had to take a step back and reevaluate my life and be like, maybe I need to take a break from sushi. Maybe this isn't a healthy relationship if all I can think about is them, you know what I mean? So today, we're one day into my sushi sobriety. And it was a struggle. I don't know if I'm going to make it too much longer, just because it's so good. I don't know. I didn't know, like, food could be addicting like this, but I can, like, taste sushi in my mouth right now. It's like, oh, I miss it. I miss it already. My goal is to go like a week or two without it, just because I'm like, I probably shouldn't eat. I don't think it's healthy to eat sushi that much. I don't think it's healthy to eat any of like one thing that often. So I'm like, I think for my own sake, I need this break. Like I know sushi is like technically like good for you. Like it's not like unhealthy in like many ways. But I'm like, I think if I'm overeating it like this, it might be pretty bad for me. So yeah, that's my logic. Also, I'm in like the mood for some like horror stuff. So I'm like really happy that we're playing it gets so lonely here tomorrow, because I'm pretty sure that it's like not just like dark, like Without a Voice is like dark fantasy like kind of stuff, and like same thing with Tith and Blood. But I think It Gets So Lonely here is like more oriented towards like just horror, like the horror aspect of everything. So I'm really excited for that, because like I mean, I'm always in the mood for horror stuff, but especially right now. Like I was like, man, tonight instead of streaming, I could start watching Haunting of Hill House, because I've only heard good things about it, and I love horror stuff. So I'm like, I should probably get into that. But counterpoint is after I get my injections next Friday, I'm not going to be doing a whole lot anyway, so I'm probably just going to be watching TV. And if I do end up needing surgery, then I'll just be watching TV anyway. So I'm probably just not going to be watching a lot of shows up until the point where I get surgery, because it's like, I burnt myself out so hard on TV while like trying to recover from the carpal tunnel and like the knees and the shin splints and everything going on, to the point of like, I just can't anymore. I was watching like a TV show a day kind of thing. Like I watched more TV in the past like 6-7 months than I have probably in like the past like 10 years combined. It was not fun. So I'm probably gonna like give myself a break from TV, and then I'll come back to it when I like really can't do anything else. Like truly can't do anything else. Not even like play like visual novels and stuff. I'll just be watching a lot of TV, which like again, so I'm just saving up shows for. Like I started Free Ren, I got like halfway through it. I really like it, but I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna need a show to watch while I'm recovering, so it'll be like this, and Haunting of Hill House, and yada yada yada. So I'm like, it's fine. I'll get to it, but I'll get my horror kick through the visual novels, and that's how we're gonna do it, you know? Because I can't play the video games, and I don't want to watch the TV shows or movies, so I'll just play some visual novels, and then we'll be great. So I'm really excited for it, especially since it also just looks really good, and it's just like a horror vibe that I'm like really feeling right now. So I'm like, and I've been wanting to get into it for a while, because I've had it downloaded for like around the time we started Head Well Lost, actually, or The Head Well Lost. Sorry. I've had it downloaded for about as long as we've been playing this, so I've been really looking forward to it for a long time. So I'm excited to start it tomorrow, even if we won't play it again. Like, I don't know, next week the schedule is probably not going to be too full, because I am streaming a lot this week, but I'm not too sure about how next week's gonna go. We're guaranteed to do a Tith and Blood again on Wednesday, and maybe I'll also stream Monday and Tuesday. I don't know, but like this week I'm like basically planning to stream every day. The only day I'm not super duper sure about is Thursday/Friday. One of those days I might not be. I also might not be on Saturday, so there's like might be 2 days. It might only be Saturday that I don't stream. We'll see. Just because again, if I'm gonna take like a decently long break, like I want to finish some things, and also like put out like a decent amount of streams, you know, especially since we're not going to be streaming for a while potentially. Because like if I do need surgery, I don't exactly know how that's gonna go. Because like I've only ever had like, outside of like getting like wisdom teeth. Did I just really say teeth? Outside of getting like wisdom teeth taken out, I've never really had like needed surgery outside of one other time with a bone cyst. And like I don't really remember how that went. I remember that there was just a lot of tests and a lot of exams and a lot of everything that went on before it, so it took a long time to eventually like build up to the surgery. So I'm like, I don't know if there's going to be the same thing with, also I'm just blinking so much. I don't know if it's going to be I was blinking so much it was like bugging me. I don't know if it's going to be like the same thing with carpal tunnel surgery, just because like it's a very low-key surgery. Like the way I've heard it described is like it only takes like a couple of minutes. It only like, I don't even know if I would be put under anesthesia or anything. Like honestly, I'd probably prefer it, just because I don't want to be awake while I'm like getting cut up and like cut into, and like my muscles are being like cut, you know, like nope, I'm good. So unless I need to stay awake, because I know some surgeries like you can't be put under anesthesia. I'm struggling to say that word a lot. So unless I can't be put under it, I'd probably prefer that. But even then, it's like a very low-key one. Like, I'll be in, be out, a couple of minutes type of thing, you know? So I don't know if there would be like a lot of build up to that, because like basically if it doesn't work, if the injections don't work after 10 days, I'm basically gonna be like, all right, day 11, cut me open, cause just slice into me, baby. Just cause I'm ready for it to be done. I'm ready for it to be over. So I don't know if we do need more build up before that, then obviously I can stream between the time I've like recovered from the cortisone injections, which is only a few days, before I can like start doing some things again, and where I'm supposed to start doing some things again, and like before the surgery. So we have a few days there regardless, but I don't know exactly how long, you know. But like if I do, since I will need a break for at least the first like couple of days, and then I might need another significantly longer break for surgery. Granted, after I get the surgery, like I probably would need like obviously like maybe a week or two to like not do anything. I would at least guess. Again, if it's like a very minor one, like I don't know, like for like stuff like wisdom teeth, like I've known some people who are like taken out for like a couple of days, not able to really do much of anything because of how much pain they're in. Whereas like for me, I got like my wisdom teeth taken out. I was told that I had like some like the surgery was like should leave me like in a ton of pain based on what they had to do to me, because it was like there was like that, like I don't know, the way like apparently my teeth, it's also been a couple of years, so I don't exactly remember correct like everything 100%, but like the way my wisdom teeth grew in, they said required what should be a much more painful surgery for me, so I should really like be careful, take it easy, yada yada. And then I was like, you know, in pain and a little out of it for like the first day, and then like by the second day I was out eating like hot dogs and fried chicken and stuff like that. Just because like in my family it's kind of like a tradition essentially of like once you get your wisdom teeth taken out, you're just eating a lot of mashed potatoes and macaroni and cheese from KFC basically. But again, by the second day I was like, no, I mean I can go driving out again, I can be up and about, I can be eating, I'm out here eating solid foods like zero pain. It's not even opening up like the stuff in my mouth anymore. I was like so fine with it. So I don't know what to really expect from like the first little while after this, because like I could be back to streaming like a few days after, or a week after, or like 2 weeks after. I don't know. I don't really know how I'm going to be feeling after getting surgery. Like I'll probably stay with some peeps to like get some help, because like obviously like I'll be down a hand of like actually not being able to use it at all for a little while. So like I'd probably need some help with a lot of things, like just like cooking and cleaning and taking care of stuff like that. So I'll probably be staying with some people during that time, but I don't know how long that time would really last before I can like be up and about again, you know? Like I obviously won't be using that hand for a while, but like I mean I only need one hand to play visual novels. It's very simple. I put my PS5 controller on my lap, and then I press X, and then I win. You know what I mean? It's not exactly rocket science. I don't really need a lot. I don't need both hands for that. It's like I could definitely like get back to playing these for a little bit between surgeries, and then obviously just like take another like short break after I get like the second surgery, because like the way it's all going, and if the second injection doesn't work, I'm guessing I'd need it in both, you know, just because like I feel the pain in both, I get the swelling in both, so I'm assuming I'd have to get it in both. That's what makes sense to me. So that's why like the recovery period for me will be like, instead of like a month and a half to 2 months, it'll be probably closer to like it'll probably be closer to like 3 months essentially for me to recover from it all. So that'll be fun. But yeah, I think with all that being said, I don't know exactly how long we're gonna go for tonight, just because I'm starting a little bit later than I was planning to. Just some stuff came up after work and before I was planning to stream, so we're starting a little bit later. I was planning to start around 7:30 my time. That clearly didn't happen. It's currently an hour and a half later than that, so with all that being said though, let's go ahead and jump on into it. And in the last one, we talked with Noah, we figured things out. We talked with her mom, she kind of apologized in her own way. It was pretty nice. We also went and visited Rai on his tour, because he was not doing great, although voicing drunk Rai was very fun, and I enjoyed it, even if it was very sad. But I think that's the main gist of what happened. So yeah, let's just go ahead and keep on keeping on. It takes a couple of days for that conversation with my parents to really sink in. I'm so shocked and flabbergasted that I was actually able to have a civil talk with my mom that I momentarily forgot that I basically promised to visit and introduce Rai to them. Is it even possible? What if they react really badly? What if Rai is horribly traumatized? What if I'm horribly traumatized? I try to imagine the worst case scenario. Will the Dullahan please come and get my family to prevent word of their existence from leaking out? That's so fair. I never thought about, like, people keeping this a secret and be like, oh, well, I guess the secret's out. Time to take care of them, you know? ... Okay, Francis, stop. I remembered my water this time. I'm psyching myself out and nothing's even happened yet. I need to talk to Rai about this. I need to stop my bad habit of assuming the worst and worrying so much. This isn't something I can handle alone anyway. I need Rai's opinion and consent if I'm going to introduce him to my family. Hey, I don't know what your schedule is today, but I need to talk to you about something. It's nothing bad, I think. Anyway, I think it's something best discussed face to face as much as possible. Yup, that doesn't sound suspiciously vague at all. I'm just nervous. The last time I brought someone home to meet my family, it didn't go so well. Oh, wow, he's calling right away. I immediately pick up the video call. Good morning. Good morning. Sorry if I'm bothering you. No, not at all. I don't have anything on the schedule for a couple of hours. Even if I did, I'm happy to make time for you. Thanks, babe. Look, I'm trying. In my head, I saw him turn into the question mark. I was like, is he questioning the babe comment, or is he? But then I was like, oh wait, he's asking a question. Of course. Is everything okay? Well, I'm not sure how to explain. This is a fairly straightforward thing, but somehow it's hard to be the one to bring it up. Might as well just bite the bullet. So the truth is, my parents, especially my mom, want to meet you. I told them I'd visit, and they said I should bring you along. I tried to explain that you're really busy, and... well, I told them that you're a celebrity, but they still insisted. Oh. I can't read anything from his tone, but it doesn't sound negative. I think? I continue to ramble. I told them I'd try, but you shouldn't feel pressured or anything. I know it might be tricky trusting other people with your, secret identity? Francis. I understand if you can't meet them. I didn't make any promises, I just... Francis? What? I accidentally snap. Oh, I didn't say that snappy enough. Sorry, I got a little overexcited there. Rai chuckles. Francis, it's okay. Of course I can meet your parents. I'm silent for a long while before I finally squeeze out. Really? Yeah, it's not really as big a deal as you're imagining. What do you mean? I bet you were already wondering if some secret Fae council would come after your family or something. In fact, I was thinking something like that. Wow, am I really that transparent? I cough a few times. It's fine. Your family is important to you, and you're important to me. If we're going to continue seeing each other, at some point we'll have to meet each other. At some point, we'll have to meet each other's families. I was prepared for this from the beginning. I hope that there's a section where we get to meet Rai's family. I am begging. That sounds like it'd be so much fun. Oh my gosh. You know, okay, we're about 57% of the way through the novel right now. Okay. I hope that 20% of that is dedicated. Obviously, it's going to be like not this exactly, but I hope that some percent of that is dedicated to meeting Francis's family, and then the other part of that should be dedicated to meeting Rai's family. Just because that sounds awesome. Oh, wow. Now I feel kind of silly for worrying so much about it. I understand why you'd feel that way, though. But it's really okay, actually. Is he about to say the thing I just said I wanted him to say? I kind of said I wanted him to say something. It's more like he's going in the direction I wanted the plot to take. I mean, it's kind of like the same idea. I hear Rai take a deep breath. He seems to come to an important decision before he continues. I'm really happy that you're confiding in me. I know your family is your business and all, but when the whole thing went down with your brother and I didn't even know about it, I felt like an outsider. But now you're talking to me about this right away and asking me about what I think. Oh, I thought he was gonna be like, actually, ha ha ha, my family wants to meet you too. But never mind. I mean, that was also really nice. I realized the way I sounded very dismissive of the what he was putting out there. I'm like, I don't want to be. I was just expecting a different thing, and then he said that thing. I was like, but that thing he said was also really nice. Right. I really worried him before. I realize that now, and I'm sorry, and I'm sorry for it. Even if I was still processing what was happening, I could have at least given him some heads up. If I had been in his shoes, I would have thought the problem was with me too. I'm sorry, Rai. Don't be. We're over it. I didn't mean to bring up old stuff again. I'll gladly meet with your parents and help explain things. If they don't accept me right away, I'll meet them until they do. I feel like a weight's been lifted off my shoulders. It feels really good to have someone else to rely on. I don't have to take on the world alone. Aww. We continue chatting for a while, and decide to visit my parents after the tour's over. So much stuff is lined up for when the tour's over. We're going to have our own place, I'm going to introduce Rai to my family. Things are really going to change. I'm a little nervous, but excited too. While walking to Latte Night, I hang up on a phone call with my mom just as I'm about to get there. After a long period of awkward silences, misunderstandings, and neglect, she's making up for lost time by wanting to chat with me whenever I have a free moment. If pressed, I'd have to say that I enjoy these calls. It seems I miss talking to her too, even more than I thought I did. My parents, mostly my mom, have been doing their research on Dryden and are very curious about Rai and our relationship. Even though Rai and I agreed to visit them, we haven't picked a date yet. There's a lot still up in the air. I have no idea how busy Rai and Virgil will be after the tour's finally over, so we can't talk about exact dates yet. Speaking of which, the tour's almost over. I didn't even notice it was August. Oh my gosh, let's go. Really, this Dryden concert tour has been like a specter looming over our relationship from the very beginning. We've had so much planned for after the tour is over that now that it almost is, it almost doesn't feel real. But Rai is coming into K-City in less than a week. They only have 3 shows left. Oh, I really have to deep clean my apartment this weekend. I make it to Latte Night a little early, so after changing, I'm just messing around on my phone. Hey, can you wait, fancy Is that supposed to be Virgil? Hey, can you do something about your man? Can you tell him that sappy love songs don't sell? When was the last time you heard a top 40 song about being happily in love? Fucking give me a break. Since that jaunt to New York, Virgil has taken to texting me occasionally too. Of course he only talks to me about Rai. That is, he affectionately complains about him with fairly constant regularity. It is nice hearing about Rai from someone else. Is that weird? I just feel like he downplays his problems sometimes. No, I feel like that makes sense, because, especially, with someone who's known him for so long, it's like, you're seeing him, this person that you love, through somebody else's perspective. Which is, I get immediately, yeah, no, that would be interesting. Also, I'm sorry, I just need to move myself. It's bugging me. I feel like I'm slightly off. There isn't, a third me hiding under here this time. What is happening? Is there actually a third me hiding under here? What is going on? Why can't I select me? Okay, there we go. I moved too much. Hang on. Wait, let me look. Bump. I don't like that my hair's off. My hair's too big, but I like my big hair. What if I just move myself slightly? But now if I'm sitting up straight, then I'll block the game. I have such a big head. Oh, wait, did I do it? I think I did it. Let's go. Let's go. I'm just moving some other stuff. I get so in my own head about my stream layout, even though it doesn't affect you guys, because I was moving around the chat from my perspective. It just doesn't matter at all to you guys. Oh, we already read that part. So being in contact with someone else who cares about him gives me some peace of mind. Well, I thought you were an artiste. I didn't think you cared about what sells. It's not the most important thing, but if our stuff doesn't sell, we won't be able to keep making it. Hadn't thought about it that way. I guess you're right. Why don't you try writing a song then? Last I checked, you're not happily in love. Whew. Virgil leaves me on red. Ha, I guess I did sort of poke at a sore spot. But he makes fun of me and Rai all the time, so it's only fair. I don't know much about it, but Rai had told me before that Virgil's in an on-again, off-again relationship with another singer. At the moment, they seem to be in one of their off phases. I think her name is Tessa. I don't really listen to jazz music, so I'm not very familiar with her, but she gives off a Nora Jonesy vibe. Okay, all right, R&D time. All right, let me just pull up Google really quick. Who's that? Who do that be? Hang on. I gotta open up a new Google tab. What's her name? I've never seen Nora spelled like that, and it's great. Have I? What am I to you? That's the name of one of her songs, and it just made me immediately think of Adventure Time. Do I know any of her songs? I don't think I do. No, and she's like an older singer, like she's from like 2002 and stuff. The names felt familiar though. I don't know. Anyways, well, now I know more. Now I've learned more things. Again, whenever we play this game, it's always just more like we just learn so much. Once I asked Rai why Virgil can't just move on and date someone else if this relationship causes him so much turmoil, Rai just said that it's their fate and neither of them can get out of it. I don't think I could ever force myself to stay with someone if being with them hurt me, but I'm me and Virgil and Tessa are Virgil and Tessa. Oops, it's about time. I shove my phone back into my pocket after my shift starts. I collapse onto the couch as soon as I get home. Phaeton and Cream immediately swarm me, and pretty soon I have a cat on each side. Hello, babies. Did you miss Mom? In my cat's years, my cats are well into middle age, but I don't know of any pet owner who can resist talking to their pets with a semi-condescending baby talk. Yeah. My dog is like getting up there in years. I think she's like 8 or 9, so she's getting up there. But I still go, oh, who's my good girl? Oh my gosh, who's my baby? Like it's. I sometimes I go semi. It's mostly just the condescending baby talk. At least the cats don't seem to mind. I feel my energy recharging as I cuddle with them. Oh, Rai just texted me. He's still up? I love the hearts. Babe, what did you say to Virgil? Huh? I might have teased him a little. I'm sorry, is he upset? Thinking of what I said to Virgil, my heart twinges a little in guilt. Upset? I guess that's one way of putting it. Oh no, what did I do? He's been writing lyrics. It's all very middle school angsty. What? So is Virgil channeling his feelings into the written word? Virgil writes some of the songs for Dryden, surely. That's just what we tell people. Anything he contributes, I have to edit the hell out of to make it usable. And I'm a Dolahan. We're generally used to putting things in hell, not the other way around. Wait. Oh, edit the hell out. I get it. It took my brain a second. I get the play. Please imagine the sound of me letting out an exasperated groan at that joke, because that's what I just did. Is it really that bad? Roses are red, violets are blue. I'm blue too, because... Oh, that's awesome. Roses are red, violets are blue. I'm blue too, because of you. I doubt that this one matters, but for the sake of seeing it later, I'll put a save there. I'll just say I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for the pain I've indirectly inflicted upon you. I'm glad you understand, so please don't tell Virgil to try writing songs ever again. Though, he's probably just messing with you. Surely Virgil realizes how, unprofessional his lyrics are. Sure, but those are still words that I have to read with my figurative eyes. Well, figurative eyes? Well, I can't say that I have actual eyes, Francis. That would be a lie. Fair enough. As I lounge around curled up with my cats and happily chat As I lounge around, curled up with my cats and happily chatting with my boyfriend, time quietly passes by. That was great. That was incredible. The tour is officially over, and Rai pushed most of the media obligations of Virgil to take some much-needed time off. I suppose it's payback for making him read those lyrics. I luckily did get to do a deep clean of my apartment before Rai arrived, at least. That's hard to say. Before Rai arrived, at least. I mean, it's supposed to be time off for us both, but we have so much to figure out. Right now, our biggest priority is picking our place to move in together. At first, I thought that I'd just let Rai handle it. I didn't want to think about how much it would cost, and I was embarrassed at, well, the feeling of being a kept woman. I know I'm not gold digging. I didn't even know who Rai was when we started talking to each other. Inadvisable? Sure, but despite my looming anxiety, everything has turned out alright, and I feel like my heart's in the right place. I'm just afraid of how other people might see our relationship. But I'm trying really hard to get over that. I should be past the age of caring what others think of me. I know. This new apartment is the home where both of us will live. Possibly. Hopefully, for a long time. So I need to be involved in choosing the place too. I can't just be an observer on this. You know, honestly, I think my strategy for that, because I totally get where she's coming from with the not wanting to be seen as like a gold digger and being worried about how much he's spending. Like, that's something I would always worry about, you know, if they were always spending money on me, essentially. I think the best plan with that is see what place he brings up, check the price of it, and be like, okay, I'll only suggest places at that price range and under. And then if he goes higher than that on some other place, then you're like, okay, that's the new barometer. That's as high as I'm going. So this week, which I took off from work, in between Rai having to jet set around the country once or twice, me with one famous singer or producer or another, we've been looking at different places together. In the meantime, Rai has also been moving a bunch of stuff to my current apartment. When the time comes, it'll be much easier to move his things from this apartment to our new place in K-City than to move his things from LA to the new place. We've already been dating for 6 months. I can't believe it's already been so long, but at the same time, it also feels like it's been no time at all. You know, by the time we finish this, it'll also have been 6 months for us. At the turtles pace I'm going. That's actually one of my goals, is to maybe try and finish this before before surgery, definitely. That's my game plan, because I'm like, I really don't want to take a longer break from that, because I would just be sad that we hadn't finished it, you know? Anyway, every day has been full and exhausting, but fulfilling at the same time. Whew. Seemingly somewhat startled at my sudden sigh, Rai flinches. Everything alright? Yes. That was a weird way to say yes. Yes, well, sort of. My mom's been texting me again, asking about when we're coming to visit. I should have plenty of time this weekend. I just have one more thing to do today, and I'm more or less done with work stuff for the week. Oh, really? A weekend trip might work out great then. I bite the inside of my cheek, mulling over my next words. It's been a long while since I've seen my family, and I love them, but I don't know that I want to spend a whole lot of time with them right away. Rai chuckles. I completely understand. You do? Yeah, I think my parents are best kept at sort of a polite distance. At least I feel like I've gotten along better with my folks ever since I moved out. I totally get that. It's harder for them to nag you or start squabbles over minor things when you're apart. Rai bows in assent. I look over at what he's doing and see that he has some music editing app open on his laptop. It's a bunch of sound waves and differently colored squares. I don't really get the details, but it seems he's working on a song. Idly, I wonder if it's one of those sappy love songs Virgil complained about. You don't need to listen to it with your helmet? I never imagined how he'd do that. So does he put the headphones on top of... Wait, hang on, he's not wearing the helmet though. Oh, I'm confused. You don't need to listen to it with your helmet? Not yet. I will later after I'm done with these minor adjustments. I found out recently that Rai can't use studio headphones. I guess it should have been obvious since he doesn't have a head, you know? Anyway, his helmet comes equipped with the latest Bluetooth audio technology, so when he's editing, he puts it on. That also answers the question of how Rai can still hear That also answers the question of how Rai can still hear when he has his helmet on. Oh, Francis? What's up? I have to go to the studio. I'm doing a collab track with another producer. The studio here in K-City? Rai bows. Cool. It's good to know that he doesn't have to fly out again. A silence passes between us for a little while until I realize that Rai is waiting for something. A specific response. From me? Do you want to come with? Huh? To the studio? Is that okay? Yeah, of course. Why would I be asking you if it wasn't okay? I mean, dog, I'm so down. Click. No, zero hesitation. Sure, I'm down. I do enjoy watching Rai work, and I have time off this week anyway, so it's not as if I have anything else really to do. Sure, I'm down. Great, I'll let the other producer know too. I appreciate that Rai tries to include me in his work since it's such a big part of his life. Inextricable, really. Even though I don't fully understand the technical aspects, I have a higher understanding of his music now, and I really admire the music producer Rai. My brain jumbled that sentence so hard, and I really admire the music producer Rai as much as I do the boyfriend Rai. That was a hard sentence to say for my brain. I decided to bring some snacks in case we get hungry, and my long neglected novel in case I decide I want to read it. Poor thing. Has she still not finished the same novel that she's been reading this whole novel? Oh, poor Francis. Oh my gosh. Also, I think I'm at like 19 books read so far this year, and I'm almost done with number 20. I'm so happy about that, because, like, again, my goal was only read 15, which I surpassed so long ago. So the fact that I'm almost done with 20 novels, and there's still, like, a whole half of the year left, like, obviously, like, I made, like, a joke, like, haha, I should try to read, like, 54, you know, one for each week of the year, and it's like, that's not happening. Especially since, like, some of the books I have later down the year to read would be, like, Brandon Sanderson novels, all of which are, like, 1,300 to 1,500 pages. And it's like, no. Those are the final bosses of my bookshelf, and I'm okay waiting a long time to get to those. The studio is a quick Porsche ride away, and I'm soon greeted by those familiar purple walls. Hi, I'm Richter. Nice to meet you, Francis. I've heard so much about you. Nice to meet you, too. You have? I throw a sidelong glance at Rai, who shrugs somewhat helplessly. Yeah, I mean, you've been the inspiration for a string of Dryden hits recently. Oh, that's what he means. When he puts it that way, it's kind of flattering, I think. Rai and Richter settle into work. Rai has come armed with a handful of half-ruined songs to share, and Richter weighs in on each one. While they hash that out, I'm sitting in the corner half listening and half actually reading my novel for a change. Let's go. I get pretty absorbed in it, so it's a long while until I clue back into what the two of them are talking about. I want to write a song about cheating, but more from the perspective of the person being cheated on. Lately, all the songs on the radio about it are all like, sorry I cheated on you, but you know I love you, and that's trash, yo. Oh, that was Richter saying all that. Yeah, I don't really like that trend either, but I've never really written about cheating. I don't have any experience with it, so I'm worried my lyrics might sound kinda trite. Really? That's lucky, man. I've been cheated on, and I've cheated. Richter. Blame it on the ignorance of youth. They go back and forth, but can't seem to think of a good line to jump off from. Hey, why don't you ask your girl? Huh? Hey, Francis! What? Yes? When I look up from my book, Richter is beckoning me over. Despite my confusion, I comply and walk over to where the two are sitting. Do you need something? We're trying to... Oh, this is Richter saying it. We're trying to come up with a good hook. Any ideas? Richter sounds hopeful. I don't have any experience with cheating either. It's never happened to me. Oh. A line pops into my head, synthesized from previous things I've read. I haven't written poetry in a long time, but the words come to me. When people cheat, they're called unfaithful. Well, you had full faith in my love. You thought I'd forgive anything. Is pleasure all you can think of? Oh, that's a bar right there. Boom. It even rhymes. Kinda. That's not bad. I like the play on word unfaithful. Rai nods in appreciation and starts typing away on the keyboard. I know he's really serious about his work and he can't lie, so I'm very honored by the praise. Richter also chimes in. Yeah, I've always wondered myself why it's called being unfaithful when you cheat. This is good. We can use that. Your name will have to be added to the songwriting credits. Oh, wow, really? I don't know how I feel about that kind of attention, but then again, how often do people really look at all the credits on a song anyway? Honestly, I have no idea, probably never. Maybe my music industry name could be Francis. Nice. My contribution seems to inspire the two men, who get back to work and the song starts coming together. Well, I'm happy if I was of any help. Feeling somewhat inspired myself, I jot down some lyric ideas in the notes app on my phone. My poor novel is, once again, abandoned. Oh, poor book. It's some hours later when the two of us are in the car on our way back to my place. We're talking about possibly swinging by for some takeout when I get a text from Jenna. You should probably have a look at social media. You become a trending topic. What do you mean? Just have a look. You seriously can't miss it. Puzzled, I do as Jenna says and... OMG, is that woman from Richter's photo Rise GF? I effing called it! Hashtag Rise GF. Okay, but why would Rai of all people take Rise GF to Waffle House? No, my ship is sinking because of this pic of hashtag Rise GF. What the fuck? Why is Rise GF, hashtag Rise GF, trending? Who cares about who some singer is dating? Oh, I should have given that one a different voice. I look and it seems that Richter posted a photo of us. Had an awesome jam session with Rai and his music. I can't say if that says hobo or bobo. Or babe? Music babe? Muse babe? Maybe it's Muse babe? I don't know. I don't know. When did he even take that? And he captured... Oh. Oh, Muse. He. Oh, okay. And he captioned it, had an awesome jam session with Rai and his muse. He. Well, he didn't outright say that I'm Rai's girlfriend. Isn't that basically the same thing? He didn't think to ask me first? Okay. That's kind of just a dick move. And not even kind of, that is. To just take someone's picture without asking, and then just posting a picture of someone without asking, just a massive dick move right there, Richter. Rai glances over and notices me frowning at my phone. What's wrong? I quickly explain the whole thing to him. It then occurs to me that Rai's wanted our relationship to go public for a while. Maybe he won't take this seriously. Wow, I can't believe Richter posted that. What the hell? I've never posted about you. He should have known better. Rai? He immediately pulls the car over into a random fast food place parking lot and calls George. The two have a very heated conversation and Richter's post is soon deleted, but the damage is done. Richter doesn't actually have that many followers on his Instagram account. I don't think he expected the post to get so much attention. But he tags you in the post. There's no way your fans would have but he tags you in the post. There's no way your fans would have ignored that. What was he thinking? He wasn't thinking, obviously. See, and even if I was Rai and wanted my relationship to go public, like, I'm still obviously respecting Francis's wishes and, you know, respecting, like, her time and everything, being like, we can get to it, like, when we've agreed upon it, you know, when we moved in together, that's what we said, and that's what we'll do, kind of thing. But also, just a huge, weird thing about Rai's privacy of, like, I never said you could take that picture, never said you could post that picture. That's about my private life, and you just did that. Thanks, buddy. You know, like, I don't know. Huge step over the boundary line. For a while, the only audible sound is the soft hum of the car's engine. Neither of us know what to say. Even with the post deleted, social media is in a frenzy and the photos of us at Waffle House get reposted. This will probably be difficult, if not impossible, to explain away. And if Rai's management lies about it, it'll only make things more awkward later when we do go public. I'm actually not feeling as upset as I thought I would be, truth be told. I think if this had happened a few months ago, I would have been really freaked out and anxious. But after 6 months, my relationship with Rai has stabilized. We're about to meet my parents and move in together. The fans were bound to find out pretty soon, even if this hadn't happened. What do you want to do about this, babe? I'll abide by what you want. Rai? Yes? Would it be too sudden if we just confirmed our relationship now? You mean... Yeah, I don't think there's any point in hiding it anymore. Even if we could still pull it off this time, the fans will just start digging more and more and paying more attention to us anyway. Are you sure? I nod. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm ready. Okay. Rai takes a deep breath. Francis? You know I love you, right? I'll protect you no matter what happens. Rai? Thanks. I love you too. The two of us take a selfie together in the car. It takes a few tries for my face to not be super stiff. But eventually we take a photo I approve of, and Rai posts it on his personal social media page. Me and my muse, aka my girlfriend. She is not the inspiration for the song Richter and I were working on, though. That'd be... Okay, no, that'd be so funny if, like, they're like, haha, here's me and my muse. Next week, they release a song about being cheated on. Heck yeah. Honestly, if they did that, if anyone did that, that'd be so based. I'd love that. So don't get the wrong idea when that comes out. My heart is racing. I decide not to look at social media after that, completely turning off my phone and putting it in my bag. Even though they were the catalyst for this announcement, I'm not actually interested to know the specifics of what outsiders think of our relationship. That's a huge change. Let's go, Francis. Let's go. If you guys remember, it was like, what, episode like 3 or something, where she was having like this huge freak out because like people were like making fun of her and thinking little of her in like the comments of like the first photos that were taken of them. And now she's here like, yeah, actually, I don't care about what they think. Let's go. I didn't mean to click that. Wow, we really just did that. Virgil says to tell you, your life is going to drastically change from here on out. Why didn't he just text me? He said he did and you didn't reply. Oh, right, my phone's turned off. It's probably just a matter of time before they dig up my identity, isn't it? Yeah. Technology today is terrifying. Yeah. Well, no matter what happens, we'll just have to face it together. I kind of wish this had happened after I met your family. I hope they don't have a bad impression of me because of this. Oh, I hadn't even thought of that. I'm sure it'll be fine, but how are we going to approach the whole Doahan thing? That's the more pressing issue, I think. Rai lets out a sigh. I'll just have to show them that I'm serious about you, and that I'll do whatever it takes to make this work. What if they still don't accept you after that? I'll keep trying until something works. What if they never accept you? Well, how do you feel about eloping? Oh, Rai's great. If he could be, he'd be grinning, I'm sure. I can hear it in his voice. I lightly punch him in the shoulder. Be serious. I am being serious. I stare at him for a little bit, and then sink back into my seat, somehow feeling mollified, despite everything. I just wanna double check something really quick. Mollified. What is that? Past tense, mollified. Past participle, mollified. Appease the anger or anxiety of someone. Oh, I don't think I've ever actually heard that word before. Interesting. Wait, I always forget to put OBS back up. I probably gotta do some R&D. I stare at him for a little bit, and then sink... Oh. Yeah, we're gonna be okay. The weekend arrives sooner than Rai or I are really prepared for. I guess Rai is just as nervous as I am, because he hardly says a word to me once the plane lands. Nerves stretched taut, the two of us arrive in my hometown late Friday night, and drive a rental car to my parents' house. Welcome, welcome, we're so happy to have you! My mom is all smiles as she ushers us into the living room from the front door. My dad shakes Rai's hand and thumps his back in a somewhat forceful show of closeness. I try my best to stifle a laugh when I see Rai stagger a bit under that thump. My dad chats with... I'm surprised that they don't immediately question the helmet, like, why are you still wearing that, my guy? Kind of thing. But they might also be trying to just respect that, you know, he's doing that. As Dad chats with Rai and leads him to my room, my mom sidles up to me and whispers, oh, well... He's still wearing that helmet. Noah told me he's famous for it, but I didn't really think he'd wear it in front of family. I want to protest that they're not exactly his family, and this is the first time Rai's met them. But that's not really the point she's making. Controller? Oh, there we go. He's shy. I managed to say weakly. We're going to talk to them about it tomorrow, so I don't see the need to force a confrontation right now. I'm so tired from the commute. Is my controller? Hang on, let me just unplug and plug it back in. Well, he cleaned up your room, so it should be nice and... Whoa, what the freak? What is that? Hey, whoa, stop. What are you doing? I was not clicking anything during any of that time, and it just started moving on me. Well, we cleaned up your room, so it should be nice and cozy in there for the two of you. Make sure... Is Otto on? Hang on. I guess Otto was on. Maybe that was the issue. Well, we cleaned up your room, so it should be nice and cozy in there for you two, for the two of you. Make sure you leave your door open. ... Wait, did it... It looked like something else happened there. I'm sorry. I'm all over the place right now. I did think it was out of character for my parents to be letting the two of us stay in one room. No wonder. What kind of hanky-panky do they expect us to get up to while under their roof? I just nod, feeling somewhat helpless. My room is more or less as I remember it all my life. My family has lived in the same house for as long as I have memories, and I've lived in the same room all that time. It's changed furniture a few times, and the decor on the wall morphed when I went through different phases. But there's definitely a feeling of home that I haven't felt anywhere else. I did take down all my posters when I went to college, though, so now the room looks a little bare. You know, you guys could totally use this room for storage or something. I feel bad that you've kept it the same all this time. We want you to have your own space for when you come back to visit. We don't really need the storage space. Your room will always be waiting for you. That's really sweet. I feel a pang of... guilt? Or am I just really touched? When I blink my eyes, they're a little misty. I inhale sharply. Well, thanks. Dad comes over and thumps my back too, which makes me cough and wry chuckle. Glad you're home, kiddo. Have a good rest, and we'll talk to you in the morning. My mom chimes in. I'm making breakfast. Noah will be here in the morning too. That sounds great. Thank you. After making sure that the two of us are okay, my parents leave the room, making sure that the door is left ajar. It's almost closed, but not quite. I roll my eyes at the sight of it, but truth be told, I'm a little amused. Your parents seem nice. I consider this for a moment before replying with a smile. They are, mostly. Same as most other parents, really. The road to parenthood seems paved with good intentions, even if those sometimes break apart when people walk on them. That was a really good way to put most of parenthood, yeah. My parents aren't the type to just barge in my room even with the door open, so we decided that it's probably safe for Rai to take his helmet off when he's in here. He says that he doesn't mind, but Rai already has to hide who he is so much of the time. If I can help give him a little slice of freedom when I can, why wouldn't I? I help Rai get his stuff situated in my bathroom, and then we get ready for bed. So we're really gonna tell them tomorrow? Even I can't really predict how my parents will react. Yeah, it'll be okay. I've thought over a lot of what I'm going to say. I think if they know that I can't lie, that'll help. You're going to tell them about that? Of course, why wouldn't I? I mean, it seems like a trait that could be easily exploited if people knew about it. You think your parents would exploit me? I didn't word that correctly. Like, knowing that you can't lie, they might corner you and put you in a tricky verbal situation, even if they don't mean to. That's okay, I'm used to it. You forget I've dealt with this all my life. The folk live for that sort of stuff, you know? Oh. I didn't really know how to respond to that. I don't think that's something that you should ever get used to. Even if he doesn't mean it that way. I can't help but pick up sadness from the way Rai says that. But the fact that Rai seems prepared is heartening, I guess. He's really thought it through, even though I thought he was being reckless when he wanted to go public with our relationship. It turns out he'd considered so much. So I'll just try to hope for the best and leave it up to him tomorrow. Is it? Oh, it's morning already. I surprisingly slept pretty well. I slowly get up and then realize that I'm alone. Where's Rye? Is he in the bathroom, or... I don't know why, but I have a very bad feeling about this. I just managed to get dressed before flying into the living room. Rye is sitting on the couch while my parents are sitting on the couch opposite. Noah is standing behind them. One of his hands is gripping the back of the couch so tightly that his knuckles are white. Of course, Rye doesn't have his helmet on. Francis? What? You knew about this? Noah's voice sounds almost like he's being strangled. How could she not know? This is her boyfriend. How could you not know whether your boyfriend's a head? My dad burst out. I can't get a word in edgewise. My dad and Noah are going on and on while Mom's just sitting there with a blank look on her face. I position myself in front of Rye protectively. Stop it. Yes, of course I know that Rye doesn't have a head. You told me long before. I decided to give things a chance anyway. I'm glad I did. How could you do that? For crying out loud, he's... Dad trails off, his expression harsh. He's someone I care about very much. The person I love. Don't you dare say anything bad about Rye or I'll walk right out that front door. Francis. My dad has stopped talking, but Noah's still very much taken aback. Last time my family and I had a confrontation like this, I didn't face things head on like I should have. Hurt by their rejection, I just ran away. My relationship with my ex completely deteriorated too, but not this time. This time I have to go down. If I have to go down, I'll go down fighting. Heck yeah, let's go, Francis! Listen to everyone. Get someone like Francis who will stand up for you no matter what. Let's go. Even so, I thought that my relationship with my family was improving. I had even started talking to my mom again. I never expected to be back in my hometown so soon, but I had hoped. Francis? Rye puts a comforting hand on my shoulder. Look, I know that someone like me isn't probably what you had in mind for your daughter, but Francis is the most important person in the world to me. I'm a Dullahan, one of the fair folk. It's physically impossible for me to tell a lie. I'll do whatever it takes to prove that I'll make Francis happy. Everyone freezes. I know my family well enough to understand that they're not exactly angry, but I don't want their reaction to hurt Rye. Or me. What can we do to make everyone understand? You said that you cannot lie? Unexpectedly, Mom is the one who speaks up now. Yes, that's right. It's a trait of the fair folk. You might know us as fairies. None of the folk can tell a lie. You're certainly not what I imagine when I picture a fairy. Mom laughs a little nervously. Well, that's true. I kind of thought the same thing when we first started talking about this. Most people think fairy and their mind conjures up images of tiny winged pixies like Tinkerbell, but I learned much more about the folk, and some are... Let's just say that a few of them are what's normally portrayed in pop culture. Let's say that a few of them are what's normally portrayed in pop culture. Alright, since you've already revealed that you don't have a head, there's no reason for you to lie about, well, not being able to lie, but... Dad? Oh, that was the dad. Oh, I'm having a hard time telling who's talking. Yeah. I mean, granted, it's not the biggest deal outside of me trying to do the voices. The only way it causes an issue. Dad's still trying to get things back on track. I guess my mom's reaction caught him off guard too. I just have one thing to ask, Mom continues before Dad has a chance to say anything else. Of course, please feel free to ask me anything. How do you... That is, if you don't have a head, how do you eat? How do you breathe? Rye suddenly bursts out laughing. You think this is funny? I'm being serious, Mom says indignantly. No, I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at you or your question. It's just... When I first told Frances the truth about myself, she asked pretty much the same thing. I was just thinking, like mother, like daughter, that's all. There's a long silence after Rye says that, but it doesn't feel as tense as it did before. After a while, my mom speaks up again. Rye, do you think you could leave the room for a little bit? There's something that's... Well, we need to speak to our daughter alone. Of course, I understand. I'll go back to our room to wait. Thank you. Rye pats my head softly before leaving to give us some space. Well, now it's all up to me, I guess. Have you told him everything? My mom asks me, her expression grave. If you're talking about me being adopted, then... Well, yes. At this point, Rye and I don't keep any secrets from each other. She must have been surprised when he said, like mother, like daughter. But she is the woman who raised me, after all. Nature can't always win out against nurture. You've been dating him for less than a year. You already trust him so much. When someone reveals to you as much as Rai has to me, you can't help but trust them. He is the one who has everything to lose, not me. And that's why I want to protect him, to protect us. Rai is... He's so sincere and serious about me and this relationship. More than I deserve, I think. I know it might be hard to accept that he's a Dullahan. It took me a little while to come around to it too. I really want for all of you to accept us. Raya said that he'll do whatever it takes, and I will too. I want to have hope that my family has changed. That I've changed. This won't be a repeat of what happened with Charlene. The fact that I'm able to stand here again is proof that we're all different from how we were then. Francis, you must really love him. I've never heard you talk this confidently, Noah chuckles. I don't remember what voice I gave to Noah. I think it was like close to Rai's voice, but it's like a little weird because Rai's also in this house. Yes, yeah. I only have so many voices, you know? Noah, I'm sure Mom and Dad will approve. We just want you to be happy, Francis. Dad coughs. You're putting us in a tough position, Noah. What do you mean? You're not actually going to tell her that she can't date Rai, are you? After everything that's happened? She's finally back and you want to drive her away again? No, I didn't say... No, I didn't say that. I like him. I'm willing to accept him, Mom says suddenly. Mom? He seems like a nice young man despite his headlessness. Besides, he's rich. He can take care of you. What do I have to complain about? If you don't mind him being a fairy, why should we? And besides, I don't want to be the cause of your unhappiness a second time. Let's go, Mom. Mom. I don't want to be the reason you're uncomfortable with coming home. You're my daughter. I love you. I made mistakes, big mistakes in the past, and... Francis, I'm so sorry. If you love Rai, then I'm sure we'll all come to love him too. I want both of you to feel like you're a part of this family, because you are. My dad lets out a sigh. If she says that, how can I disagree? No, go bring Rai back here. Okay. After Rai comes back, he and I both sit on the couch together. The earlier tension is completely gone, and there's a warmth I haven't felt in this house in a very long time. Rai, do you promise to take care of our daughter? Dad's voice is serious, but his facial expression has softened a lot compared to earlier. Of course! I promise that I'll stay with Francis for as long as she wants me to. I'm prepared to do whatever it takes to make sure that Francis is both safe and happy. I know that my being a celebrity and my being a Dullahan complicates things, but I won't give up. Francis told us that you plan to move in together. Oh gosh, and now Dad and Rai are talking directly together. Their voices are exactly the same. I need to make the dad sound older. Francis told us that you plan to move in together. That's not really older, it's just deeper. We'll just do this voice for Dad. That's right. Oh, this is Rai now. That's right. We're currently looking for a place now. Dryden, that is, the music group I'm a part of, just ended our tour. So I have time now to take care of all these things. I don't want you to worry about Francis. I'll take care of her. I'll take care of her if she'll have me. Wow, why does it sound like he's asking for my hand in marriage? Good. That's very reassuring. Please, if you have any questions about my being a Dullahan, don't be afraid to ask. I'll do everything I can to set your minds at ease. Okay, then. The rest of the day passes swiftly but quietly, with my family asking Rai pretty much all the same questions I asked him back then. Was it really only in April that Rai revealed to me that he was a Dullahan? We've been through so much together already. It feels like I've known him for so much longer. He's become so dear to me in such a short amount of time. I'm sure that my family will end up loving Rai too, just like Mom said. Who could have ever thought that a day like this would come for the Lins? Part of me was afraid that I'd be estranged from my family forever. Rai is the one who taught me to be positive, to learn to believe in others again. It's thanks to him that I bridged this gap. Bribed this gap doesn't make any sense, brain. Bridged this gap between me and my family. Things aren't perfect, but I know they're getting better. I want Rai to always be safe and happy too. Let's go! Let's go! The weekend passes by calmly like that, and okay, oh my gosh, I'm so happy. Okay. Back in the day, and by back in the day, I mean less than a year ago, I used to stream and record by just doing media capture, or not media capture, I think I was doing, wait, no, what was it? What is it? Oh my gosh, it's been so, display capture. just because like I'd always have things fold the screen anyways, and it made things really easy, just like to move over and on top of each other, just for ease of everything. It was like it's so easy just to do display capture, but I could never get Steam notifications to stop popping up. So like my friends would pop up, my friends would pop up, my friends would pop up, and it's like, oh, okay, well I guess I gotta edit those out, and then it's like, oh, okay, well I guess I can't edit that out because I'm live streaming. Oh no, it was a whole thing. So I'm so glad I've stopped. But it still gives me like a pang of like, oh my gosh, please no. Whenever like one of them pops up, because my head just whips over to look at OBS, and it's like, oh, they didn't pop up. Oh my gosh, thank you. I'm so glad I changed things. Also, I need some water. Mm, mm, mm. Oh. And this is a good. I'm really enjoying what we're reading here today. Like I've always enjoyed what we're reading here today, but I was expecting this because like I don't know. I've talked about this before and stuff like Please Be Happy and stuff like that, and like in First Snow and everything. One of my biggest issues with like, I guess like the romance genre is taking stuff like this and then just like really dragging it out and making it take like just way longer than it needs to. Like I don't need like the family did like accept him like pretty. I don't want to say pretty fast. Like I don't know. They accepted him at a decent rate. And I'm like, I'm totally fine with that. And if they want to take longer on that scene specifically, I would have been okay if that scene went on for a little bit longer, had a little bit more to it. But I'm also very happy with how it went. Like, it's one of those situations of like, it's not worse because it didn't go longer. But if they want to go longer, just because I trust the writing in this, I trust that they could have made it longer without making it like overly bloated and bad, you know? Whereas like most romance like stories in general would be like, oh, here's like this thing, we're going to stretch it out, like wring out all the drama we can from it, and then just move on to the next thing and do the same thing over again. And I'm so glad that like this and all the other visual novels I read like just don't have that. It just has like the good parts of the romance, like the great character writing, the great like family drama, and it feels like again like the slightest bit of unnaturalness is like accepting the Dullahan's existence that quickly. Like I don't know. Maybe it's just because like I've never personally like met a Dullahan, so I don't know how I'd react to it. But like it was also the same thing with Francis, but even then it's like it's such a cliche for like when people meet like the fantasy creatures that have like freakouts that go on and on and on. And so like we've already seen Francis go through like meeting and experiencing what it was like to like find out he's like real and everything. And I really liked how that was handled. Like, yeah, it was like slightly fast, but it was also handled in a very entertaining way. So I'm like, I was very fine with it. And it was kind of the same thing with their family. Like, yeah, sure, maybe you could say it wasn't like the most realistic thing to not have them like all freak out and be like, oh my gosh, he's a monster, kill him, get rid of him, kind of thing. Um, but even then, I still liked the way that it was handled. Just because it was more entertaining, and we've seen that scene of people finding out that fantasy creature exists and like freaking out about it for minutes on end 1,000 times over. So I'm so okay with it not being in this visual novel, you know. Otherwise, because like if that's how the people in this world are going to react to Rai, like every single time he revealed himself, then like if she ever introduces him to her friends like throughout this novel, then we'd get it for a third time, and it's like, oh, I'm so okay that we're not going in down that route, even if it's like technically more realistic, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, no, I'm just really liking the way that this is going. I'm also like, I don't know, I'm also liking specifically like the mom. Like I feel like with everything you've heard about the parents, like you'd expect like the mom to almost freak out more than like both her dad and Noah did. But like Noah actually had like a pretty middle reaction to it. Like he was like less um about it than the dad was, but he was more about it than the dad was, less about it than the mom was. But the mom has also gone through the experience of being like, I know for a fact that I'm the one who pushed my daughter away, and gosh darn it, even if she's dating someone I didn't think existed before, I'm not gonna push her away again. So I will accept him. He seems like a good person, and I'll trust that essentially, just so I don't lose her again. And I'm like, dang, that's some character development right there for her. It's pretty cool. But yeah, no, I'm just really liking what we've read so far. It's like been so good. Because I was like excited for like the parent stuff to happen, but I was also like, but it could also just move into like a bunch of rom-com cliches and like a bunch of like fantasy cliches, and I was not looking forward to that. But they're handling it. It's all been handled in like a very good way, in a very entertaining way, I should say. The weekend passes by calmly like that, with me and Rai both enveloped in my family's warmth. Before we know it, it's about time to leave. But this whole experience has been invaluable to me. I think I'm finally healing from what happened between us back then. I can't believe my mom, that prideful Asian mother that she is, actually apologized to me. And I'm glad to see that Noah's been doing better at this rate. He won't need any kid. At this rate, he won't need a kidney from anyone. After Ryan and I have packed up, we share some coffee with my family before we're about to head to the airport. Francis? Yeah, Dad? I think we've avoided this topic long enough. What is it? About your birth parents. Oh, we did some digging and they're still alive. If you want to meet them. No, I don't want to meet them. Francis? I don't know if you'll understand this, but I've never really thought of meeting my birth parents or knowing much about them, even when I was a kid. If you say that they're alive, then that's good enough for me. I truly hope that they're doing well, but that's not my family. Francis. I hope you don't think I'm being spiteful towards them or anything. Okay, another one popped up and it scared the crap out of me. Huh, but they made their choice when they put me up for adoption. We don't have anything to do with one another. This family is my family. My dad lets out a sigh of relief. No, we don't think that. I just didn't want you to have any regrets about your birth parents. You have the right to know more about them and to meet them if you want to. Thanks, Dad, but I'm alright. Rai gently takes my hand and squeezes it. I can feel him supporting me with that small action, and I know that I made the right choice. Maybe in the past I might have been more curious when things were going badly. You can't help but want an escape. But especially after this weekend, I'm really happy with the way things are. Even though it's not perfect, they are my family and I am their family. They raised me and took care of me, and I still worry about and care for them now, and they still worry about and care for me now. I don't need to know about the birth parents who put me up for adoption. I'm sincerely grateful to them for bringing me into this world, but that's where it ends. From now on, I want to be more positive and try to feel hope more often than dread. Let's go. And I think I can do that if Rai is by my side. Thanks for having me this weekend, Mr. and Mrs. Lin. And Noah, it was nice to finally meet you. Of course, you are welcome here anytime. This is Francis's home, and so you can think of it as your own home too. Thank you. We'll be heading out. Thank you. Well, we'll be heading out. Thank you. Well, we'll be heading out now. Bye, everyone. I'll try to come back for Thanksgiving. We'll be looking forward to it. With an arm around my waist, Rai leads me to the door and into the taxi that'll take us to the airport. Meanwhile, my whole family is at the front door waving. That's sweet. That was good. And with that, it's the end of a very eventful weekend. Things will get even better between me and my family. I know it. When have I ever felt so confident in thinking that? When was the last time I could think about my family without feeling some sort of fear or anxious dread? Rai? What's up? Thank you. For everything. What do you mean? I haven't done anything. I lean against him, both hearing and feeling a strong heartbeat when I do so. This is the person who keeps me grounded, who is my light in the darkness. Dramatic? Yes, but that's the truth. Tired. It'll be a little while until we reach the airport. You can take a nap if you need to. Yeah, a little nap does sound nice. Now that things have been more or less resolved, it's like a weight pressing against my heart has dropped. The relief is making me feel drowsy. I take Rai at his word and gradually fall asleep as the taxi drives off into the night. That's such a mood, though. When something finally happens and you're so like, oh, everything's okay now. It's almost like your emotions have been like wound up and like your energies have been keeping you going just so you can see it through. And then once it's like, oh, okay, it's like, oh, it's released. I can actually be tired now. It's almost like adrenaline in a way. It's been a couple of days and I've started losing track of how many condos we've looked at. Was it the third one yesterday that had the gas stove, or was that from today? I think the one with the kitchen you really liked was from today's batch. The realtor laughs. I did warn you that it would be rough if we looked at more than 5 places in a day. I found over the years that 5 showings is about how much the human brain can handle before everything starts jumbling together. I get that, but I can only get a few days off this week, and I wanted to see as many places as I could during the time. I know that Rai has a more flexible schedule, and no doubt he'll keep looking at more condos once I have to report back to work. But still, this is where I'm going to live. It's more convenient if we both go to see it at once, and I really can't fathom living somewhere I've never seen. That's so true. Once the realtor leaves, Ryan and I have a seat at the table outside a cafe, lattes in hand. It'll probably take longer than we think to find a new place. I'd been prepared, knowing it could probably take months, but still. Sorry I'm being so picky about it. I can't help feeling somewhat apologetic. I have to admit that I'm the one making things difficult. But it's important that the place be cat-friendly. My babies are used to where we are now, and if we're going to uproot them, I want to make sure it's a good environment for them. Also, the kitchen is really important, and the other 2 rooms need to be big enough for Rye's studio and my writing stuff. The biggest thing is the cost. Holy crap, does it cost a lot for what we're looking for? A condo with 3 bedrooms in the city? It costs just as much as a house. I just have to close my eyes and accept it. I already decided that I would accept Rye's goodwill and just roll with it. He would need a place with or without me, and it makes him happy to live together too. I can't hope. You know what? That's so fair. If Rye's okay with it, then we should just say whatever we feel like be like, oh, this place or this place. What do you think about this place? Just because it's also going to be Rye's home. I can't hope to ever make as much money as he does, ever, and I have to make my peace with that. Rye doesn't need to do a mortgage, obviously. He can afford to just drop cash for the place. No way he'll let me pay him back afterwards either. To be fair, that would probably take literally the rest of your life to do so. I'll just take it for what it is and enjoy my life for as long as this lasts. Even if we stay together, who's to say that Dryden will be popular forever? If this lifestyle has to come to an end someday, then so be it. But for now, I'll enjoy it and accept what Rye wants to give me. Still, maybe I'm being too difficult. As long as we're there together and cats are comfortable, I'll be fine. The little details won't matter as much as I think they do now. But the gas stove is a must. Have you ever tried cooking on one of those glass top electric stove things? It's the worst. If you don't clean it up right after cooking, stuff just cakes onto the top and it's just a huge pain in the ass to deal with. See, it's good to have your input. I'd never even thought of that. I've pretty much lived in a bachelor pad all my life. If you let me pick on my own, you for sure won't be satisfied with it. I want this to be a place where we can both envision ourselves living in, happily for years. He starts mumbling. I mean, if we have to move later, we can, of course, but still, I want you to stay in one. I want to stay in one place with you. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I think I got so fixated on find a place, that I sort of lost sight of what it was all for. It's understandable, though, considering how many places we've looked at just this week. It would be enough to make my head spin if I had one. After that, Rye has a meeting and a photo shoot for something to go to, so I'm chilling at home. It's terrifying how many hours you can spend scrolling through real estate apps. After a while, though, everything starts to look the same. Either realtors use the same few stylish kitchen photos for multiple listings, or all the interior decorating trends are heading in the same direction. A little column A, a little column B. Or maybe it's just that I've looked at too many damn condos in the last few days. A little column C, too. Probably the latter. Rye's talked about wanting me to spend my money for myself. I haven't done a whole lot of that in recent years. It's been a little too hectic with my family and now this for me to invest a lot of time into writing, but I really want to. After all, I'll have a whole room to myself, so I want to make a place for it. After digging out one of the many cute notebooks I've bought over the years and never used, I spend my afternoon just jotting down some poetry and lyric ideas. It was pretty flattering when Richter and Rye both approved of the little lyrics I contributed. I'm sure they'll have to mess with it. I'm sure that they'll have to mess with it some more to get it to fit the music, but still, it's inspiring when other people respond to your work like that. Even if Rye can't use all my lyric ideas, it's fun writing them, and it's a hobby we can both share. Well, for him, it's not a hobby, but anyway. The most important thing is getting used to my creativity that's been dormant for so long. Meow. Misty's observing me from the windowsill, looking down at where I'm sitting and working on the couch. Even though she's a cat, for some reason when she's concentrating so much on what's in my hands, it feels like she understands what writing is. How does it look, Misty? I hold up my work, showing her my progress after these last few hours. Meow. She bows her head a little. It's almost like she's nodding. Oh, so you approve, huh? Thanks. You have good taste. I'll show some of these poems to Rye later. I'll have to be sure I'm ready for his expert opinion, though. I'm sure he'll be kind since I'm just writing as a hobby. You know, Ryan would be the great, like the single best person to get like criticism from, because he just can't lie. Like, because some people will be like, "Oh, I won't lie to you. I'll like really not mince my words. Like, I'll give you like the harsh critique that you need." But then, like subconsciously, they're still probably like repressing it a little bit, especially like if you're like their friends or like significant others or anything, because they're like, "Well, but like this is the person I love, and like it's coming from them, so it's like good, you know." But Ryan will just be like he has to tell it how it is to him. Even granted, even though he'll still probably be like, "Oh, I love it because it comes from you," you know. But you know what? He still has to be honest about it, if that makes any sense. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. Days fly by, and just like that, a week passes. The older I get, the more I feel like time is just slipping through my fingers. The tour being over doesn't mean that Dryden has ceased to exist, so naturally, Rye is still pretty busy with work, but I've still been able to see him a few days in the week, so it's much better than before. We both care about our jobs, so it's only natural that we don't see each other as much. Even if Rye always worked in K City, we'd only be able to see each other after work. The amount of time we spend together is only a little less than regular couples. I realize that I might be rationalizing the situation, but I prefer to think that I'm just finding the balance. Ryan and I are both doing our best to keep our relationship going strong. Of course, we've been looking at condos together whenever possible, or at least sending each other Zillow links when we're apart. I have to say that with Rye taking care of the financial aspect of relocating, this is 100% less stressful than the last time I had to find a place. I'm working my usual shift at latte night when a crowd of young people comes in. They look like teenagers, but given the time it is now, they're more likely college students. I feel like this is going to go into a scene of like where like these college students are like, "Oh my gosh, you're Rye's girlfriend." And she'll be have to be like, "Oh no, they found me." Avery seats them and gets them menus. Me, I'm on barista duty, forcing my terrible latte art on innocent bystanders. My favorite customer tonight are those taking their lattes to go, since that means they won't have to see what I draw on the foam. Anyways, normally I wouldn't spare a second thought for college students coming in. After all, that's our most frequent patronage given our location. The weird thing though, is that they seem to be looking at me like more than what I'd consider to be normal. Am I being too self-conscious? I look away from the group once they're seated and try to focus on my tasks. It's possible they're just looking at the menu behind me. Unfortunately, this turns out to be wishful thinking on my part, of course. I just made a classic mistake. If I have to convince myself that I'm being too self-conscious, I'm probably not. One should never ignore one's gut instincts. Excuse me, are you Rye's girlfriend? I saw the picture he posted. See, that's what I get for trying to give these kids the benefit of the doubt. I can't really deny it, can I? We took a selfie together, and so all of his fans, at least the ones who follow him online, know what I look like. I just wasn't expecting them to bother. I've never felt that strongly about a celebrity before. I don't know if you were really expecting that, because one of the things we talked about before was like people like harassing you, you know? Or like doxing you and stuff, and they'd only do about that if they like cared a lot. Also, there's something in my eye. Ah, got it. I think. Yeah, I don't feel it anymore. I mean, what do they have to gain from finding out more about me anyway? They're not here to harass me, are they? Okay, I need to stop. I'm making the worst case scenarios in my head already. That's right. Are you a Dryden fan? Thanks for your support. Does that sound kind of arrogant? What else am I supposed to say, though? I have no idea, Francis. You handle that better than me. I'd just be like, yeah, dog, up top. And then, you know, awkward silence afterwards. To my utter shock, the girl lets out a shriek. I knew it! I fucking knew it! I told you guys she works here. Damn, you're dating someone like Rye, but you're working as a barista? Why bother? Does he not give you any money? Well, she looks old. Sorry, you're older than Rye, right? I heard that Rye and Virgil are like the same age. Well, I can't say that I'm being harassed or anything. They're not particularly polite, but I think they're just excited. So I can't really do my job with this mob here. What's going on here? Before I can get a word in edgewise, the manager on duty comes out and breaks up the group. I had told management ahead of time that I'm dating Ryan and everything, just in case something like this happened, but actually experiencing the change in treatment is really something else. The Dryden fans have found me. What if every night from now on is like this? I don't like being the center of attention like that, but I know the fans didn't mean anything bad by it. It's not the worst thing in the world to have to deal with. But I can't inconvenience everyone else here, patrons and staff alike. Yeah, that'll make things just a little bit harder. Oh. I end up quitting. I already thought about doing it after we first went public, but I wanted to hold out in case my change in status wasn't as bad as I thought. I can't say I'm happy about things turning out pretty much exactly as expected, though. I'm glad the fans weren't violent or aggressive or anything. They were just super curious. I guess that's natural. Yeah, and I probably wouldn't have quit, like, if, like, this is just me, but I probably wouldn't have quit right then. I probably would have given it, like, 1 or 2 more times, but I also totally understand being like, yeah, no, I saw this coming from a mile away, and now it's happening. I'm just gonna get on out of here. Rye's in another state for work, but he quickly picks up when I video call him. Hey, babe, everything okay? What do I say to that? It's not like I'm not okay, I'm fine, but quitting my job is a pretty big deal. That being said, I don't feel as broken up about it as I thought I would be a couple weeks ago. I was so adamant about Rye not revealing our relationship so my life wouldn't drastically change, but now it's drastically changing anyway. I should tell Rye. Okay, well, like... Okay. Here's my thought process on this one. Like, I also agree, like... It's, like, like, she seems fine. It's like, technically this isn't lying, but I also don't want this to be like, actually, I'm really sad right now, because she just doesn't seem sad. So I'm not sure which one is actually like the, I'm okay, but here's what happened decision, you know what I mean? So like, maybe we'll try this one, but if I don't like how she responds to it, then I'll go back and pick this one, because that's the way I'm wanting to respond is, I'm okay, but here's what happened. So I feel like this one might be, I'm fine, period, and then nothing else. And then maybe like making some stuff up to talk to him about. Or this one will be like, actually, here's what happened, kind of thing. Okay, yeah, that seems how she's responding. Well, it's not a huge deal, so I don't want you to freak out, but actually, I may as well just tell him. So, I had to quit my job at Latte Night. Had to isn't the right way to put it. I guess nobody forced me to, I just felt that it would be best. What? What happened? I quickly narrate the series of events to him, careful to reiterate that I don't think the fans were meaning to be rude. I guess if I had a big celebrity crush, I'd be concerned with whom they were dating too. I don't blame the fans or anything, but it can't be like that. But it can't be like that every day at work. I didn't want to cause any more problems. Well, truth be told, I was always kind of worried about you working there. What? Why? You worked a late night shift, right? And you don't have a car, so you always had to walk home. It's not safe for you to be walking around the city so late at night. Anything could happen. Besides, chances are the new place won't be so close by. Were you planning to keep walking? It's embarrassing, but I hadn't quite considered that far ahead. It's true. What if we moved to a place on the other side of town? Of course I wouldn't want that, though. You're not wrong, but I was fine working there for so long. And the library and Latte Night are close together. You're not saying we'll get a place that's super far from the library, are you? Of course not. Of course I'd be happy to take care of you so you don't... Of course I'd be happy to take care of you so you don't have to work at the library either. But that's your main job. I won't ask you to quit that. Well, you just came out and said that. Putting aside the fact that I'm a librarian is the job I always wanted. Putting aside the fact that being a librarian is the job I always wanted, the job I trained for, and the job I'm most qualified for, if I quit being a librarian too, I literally would be contributing $0. I know, I contribute other things in a relationship too, but still. No, I'd ever be okay with that. I'm glad Rye seemed to realize how unreasonable that would be too. Oh, I'm not saying that I wanted you to quit the cafe job. I'm sorry you had to leave like that. I'm not making light of it, I promise. If we end up having to get a place further from the library, I can always have someone drive you to work and pick you up even if... Yeah, I can always have someone drive you to work and pick you up even when I'm not around. What? What kind of librarian has their own personal driver? Now that's just excessive beyond all reason. Do I want to be a librarian so badly that I'd go to such lengths to keep it up? Oh, no, I don't. This is one I'm not sure of. What would I do? What would I do? If a librarian was being my dream job, then I'd probably still keep up with it. I don't know. But even then, I guess if we did quit, then we could go more into writing, but that isn't really her dream job. It is more of a hobby for her, but it could turn into something more. Because, like, I don't know, if it was me, I'd feel so weird being chauffeured every day to my job and back. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, it makes 1,000% more sense than walking there every day, especially if they do move somewhere farther, like from the library. I just don't know if I would be comfortable with that. I just don't know if I'd be comfortable with that. But I also wouldn't want, like, but again, this is my dream job, like, it's what I've always wanted to be, it's what I've trained for, it's what I'm qualified for, it's what I've worked for. I also wouldn't want to lose that. I'll click this one. I'll click that one. I'm not sure. I'm not sure of myself of that one. Not even counting like, oh, like game mechanics or anything like that. Or like, is this the good or the bad one? Or like, do either of these matter kind of thing. It's more of like, I just don't know what I would click. I mean, let's be real here. I majored in library sciences, so a career change would be really tricky for me. Being a librarian is basically my dream job. Or is it? In the back of my head, I feel the prospects of other paths and possibilities whispering to me. But still, I'm proud of being a librarian. It's what I identify with. I never identified strongly with being a barista or anything, so I suppose that's why I'm okay with giving it up, but being a librarian, why am I struggling to say librarian? Being a librarian is intrinsically tied to my self-image. Let's just see how things go. I'll try to be flexible. I can always work at a different library too, but let's cross that bridge when we come to it, okay? Right, yes, of course. Sorry, I didn't mean to spring that on you. Oh, no, it's okay. I'm glad we're talking about this now. It's best to consider all my options, you know? The main thing I want you to understand is that I love you. The main thing that I want you to understand is that I just love you for being you. I think the work you do is awesome, but if you don't want to do that work, I'm more than capable of taking care of you and keeping us comfortable. I'd be happy to support you while you figure out what it is you really want to do most. Aww, who could say no to something like that? So heartfelt and sweet. That's the most unconditional, loving support and understanding a person could ever ask for. And I have the privilege of knowing that Rai completely means what he says. I want him to feel the same type of comfort and support from me. Rai, thank you. But you know I'd still love and care about you even if we had to live in my current apartment forever, trying to make ends meet. It goes both ways. I love you for being you too. Thanks, babe. Damn, I wish I was there with you right now instead of halfway across the country. You're coming back tomorrow, right? Yeah, tomorrow evening. It feels so far away. Well, our conversation about me having to quit my part-time job ended up taking a very tender turn. Ryan and I talk about this and that for a while before each going off to bed. Well, at least things seem to be okay at the library. Maybe the fans haven't realized that I work here. Actually, that's unlikely given how many college students are here every day, but a library is supposed to be a quiet place, so they can't exactly fuss over me like they did at Latte Night. On top of that, we have security here. I guess it would be hard for anyone to cause trouble. Whoever heard of belligerent patrons at a library? Mi-kyung calls me to her office. She understands how this might come across. She understands how that might come across, I guess. So she's very insistent that I'm not in any trouble and it's not a big deal. Hey, what's up? Hi, Francis. Well, I have a little favor to ask of you. Oh, sure, I'd be happy to help if I can. Oh, so I heard you're dating a celebrity. Yeah, that's not gonna cause any problems for the library, is it? Is she gonna ask her to be like, hey, can you get him to do some promotion for our library? Mi-kyung already said this wasn't anything negative, so I doubt I'm being asked to resign or anything. But still, I just quit my other job and I'd like to stay here if I can. Oh, no, not at all. I was just looking over the schedule of events. You know, we were supposed to have the cast of that popular kids show come by and do a little presentation but they canceled. I have a good feeling I know where this is going. So I was wondering if you could ask your boyfriend if he'd be willing to come here and do some promo. He doesn't have to perform, just giving a talk would be more than enough. I know he doesn't need the publicity, but maybe if he could just see it as a favor to his girlfriend. Is this really okay? It feels like it would be a conflict of interest. Of course, I'd like to help the library if I can, but I can't exactly agree on Rai's behalf. I don't know if I'd be comfortable asking my significant other of that. Like, maybe if it was just a friend, but even then, I'd be like, I feel like people are taking advantage of them through me, essentially. Especially when they phrase it as, like, can't you just ask that, like, as his girlfriend? Winky winky. It's like, I wouldn't want to do that. I'd feel like I'm exploiting him, even if it's for the library, you know, and not necessarily myself. Well, he's, you know, Dryden is so busy and all. As it is now, I only see him like 2 days a week, so I can't guarantee that there's a time in his schedule. When would you need him to be here? On Friday? Sorry, what? Friday? I know, it's really short notice, but that other event just fell through. I'm at my wit's end right now, and then I remembered. Anyway, I figured it wouldn't hurt to ask. Well, I'll ask him, but I don't think you should keep your hopes up. Thank you, Francis. I appreciate you even asking, honestly. And she doesn't seem like... That's the thing, she doesn't seem like she's trying to be like, hee. I'm gonna, like, take advantage of these people. It's just like, I'd feel like dirty doing it, you know? Especially since we just went public. Maybe if it was, like, a bit later into the relationship, I'd feel more open to be like, yeah, hey, babe, can you do this for me? You know? But since they just went public with it, it's like, it just feels, like, exploitative, even if it isn't, essentially. Mia Kyung has been really awesome about giving me time off for condo hunting and stuff. So I do want to be nice and help her out out of a tough spot, but it's not really up to me. Raya's particularly busy this week too. I think he's got a big collab track he's been working on. He's usually very good about texting me every day, even if it's just to say good morning or something. But even that drops off. But when even that drops off, I know he's busy. Anyway, Mi Kyung's right. It doesn't hurt to ask, so I shoot him a text and give him Mi Kyung's number so he can talk with her directly about it. I did my part by asking him. So imagine my surprise when, a few days later, I come to work to see Rai standing outside the library with a crew of people carrying in a bunch of stuff. Rai? Oh, hey, babe. Oh, yeah, you would be reporting to work right about now, huh? What are you doing here? Huh? What do you mean? Didn't you hear from your boss? No. Sorry, I kept it from her. Mi Kyung appears on the scene looking both a little amused and a little apologetic. What's this about? You said you haven't seen your boyfriend in a little while, but because he's been super busy, right? I thought it might be nice to surprise you. I didn't mean to. I thought your boss would have told you, so I didn't say anything about it. Rai's been super busy just hashing out the details with Mi Kyung, probably wiped out all his spare time. I hardly blame him. Mi Kyung, I gotta say, I'm not a huge fan of surprises. Mi Kyung immediately sets to mollifying me. Jesus, I thought for sure he wasn't coming since I hadn't heard anything. It's still a nice, pleasant surprise. I shouldn't be too hard on Mi Kyung. Whatever the reason, I'm happy to see you. So you're putting on a performance after all? Is Virgil coming too? Oh no, Virgil couldn't make it. I did bring an industry friend though. His name is Cassius Rhodes. Oh my, I've heard of him. I didn't even know he was in town, Mi Kyung exclaims. He wasn't, but we were both in LA together, and he was free, so I just brought him along. Francis, why don't you help him get situated? I've got to go back in and deal with some paperwork and stuff. Oh, okay, sure. I feel like at this rate, George might get his wish of me being a roadie granted. It's nice being part of something like this, though, even if it was a surprise. Cassius arrives shortly. He and Rai fine-tune their instruments, and then, around noon, they play a short set of about 3 songs and talk about music production. Rai makes a point to talk about all the great resources the library has to offer. Students can use some of the best music production apps for free with a library card. There's plenty of books on composing and producing music as well. While Cassius is more shy compared to Rai, he does his best to answer questions too, and he gets noticeably more confident as the Q&A goes on. Since it was so last minute, there's surprisingly not a huge mob of fans, though more people arrive closer to the end after hearing about it through word of mouth. Of course, Rai takes the chance to plug Dryden's upcoming single too. I feel a sense of pride wash over me as I watch Rai perform and talk to the audience of library patrons. Like, yeah, that's my boyfriend! I guess I finally gone over the initial feelings of awe and disbelief that hit me every time I watched him perform in the past. Now I'm purely just proud of him. He's so awesome. Francis, I'll see you at home, okay? I've still got some business to take care of, so I might be kinda late. Okay, you did great. You did a great job. See you later. As Rai and Cassius gather their gear and leave, Miyuki and I do some crowd control, and in the blink of an eye, everything settles down. I noticed that a few of the senior patrons even got into the performance. It was pretty keyboard heavy, and after all, and neither Rai or Cassia sang or anything. It could be considered relatively easy listening. I wonder if Rai earned Dryden a few new but older fans from this. The library certainly gained at least a few more patrons, and now more people know about the software suite on the library computers. I'm struggling to read so much right now. The event is a smashing success. Rai ends up getting back to the apartment around 10. After taking off his helmet, he collapses onto the couch, sinking into the cushions as if he might just melt into them. That tired, huh? I've been running around like a chicken with my head cut off all week trying to get everything done, so I could come back today. Rai. Tomorrow's my 29th birthday, the last birthday of my 20s. It's not like that I would have made a stink about Rai not being here on the exact day, but it makes me really happy that he worked so hard to carve out time for me. It's so sweet I decide to ignore the hilarity of a Dullahan comparing himself to a headless chicken. I come up behind the couch and start firmly massaging the tense knots out of Rai's shoulders. Oh, that feels nice. Just try to relax, okay? Mm-hmm. Rai's voice is particularly a low purr at this point. He sounds kinda drowsy. I don't blame him given his hectic schedule this week. I'm glad tomorrow's a weekend, so you're off work the whole day. It's your day tomorrow. I did make reservations for dinner. His words slur together until he completely trails off into silence as he falls asleep. Poor guy, he's exhausted. I can't bear to wake him just to get him to sleep somewhere else, so I go and grab a thick blanket from my room and snuggle up to Rai on the couch. Aww, that's adorable. Oh my gosh, I love that. Good night, Rai. Okay. And I do think we're probably going to end there, just because, like, in the last, like, 10-ish minutes, I got hit with, like this huge wave, like, oh, I'm so tired all of a sudden. So, like, I think that's one of the reasons why my reading's struggling just a little bit. I also tend to like to end around the time I start struggling to read, just because I'm like, that's kind of the point, you know? If I'm not reading very well, then it's not a very great listening experience, you know? So I'm like, I think right there's probably a good place to end, so I should, like, go and get ready and go to sleep and stuff like that. But again, I will be back tomorrow with It Gets So Lonely Here, and then on Wednesday with The Tith and Blood, and then either Thursday or Friday or both to read more of this, and then maybe again on Saturday. And I'll probably reiterate that throughout, like, the streams upcoming this week, just because, again, I do want to stream a lot this week, just because I only streamed once last week, none the week before. And again, I've talked about it a lot, but it is important for people to know about, just, again, like, the injections and the surgery. So it's going to be a little tricky going forward. So I'm like, I kind of want to get in a lot of streaming now, because I would love to finish this again before the surgery, and I would also like to finish It Gets So Lonely Here, just because I don't think it's going to be too long. But I would like to, like, start things and then finish them before I have to, like, go on any kind of, like, extended break, so I'm not, like, leaving people out to dry on anything. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to finish, like, twofold, which I will be starting before surgery, but, you know, we'll get started into that, and it's a really long one. But then we'll take a break, obviously, when I need to. But yeah, that's essentially, like, the schedule for the week. It's kind of up in the air right now, and again, I don't really put out schedules anymore on, like, Twitter or anything. Granted, I also just suck at tweeting. Just because of, like, how hectic it is. Like, I had no idea when I was going to be able to start streaming today, and I have no idea when I'll start streaming tomorrow, or on Wednesday, or on Thursday or Friday. So it's like, that's why I like to talk about it on the streams themselves, just so people are, like, more aware, you know? But yeah, no, this is really good. I also just feel like, I don't know, we made a lot of story progress. Like, on the title screen, we can see how much, like, here, really quick, I'm just gonna go ahead and save right there, and then we can go to title. So when we started reading today, we were at 57% now. If I close this, and did I just hear a scream? I think I just heard a scream. I think someone might be getting murdered in my house. But it sounded like a child, so, and there aren't any children here, so I'm not gonna go check on it. Just because I don't wanna. Game, are you gonna pop up? Hello? Hello? Head well lost? Like, yeah, we made it 65%. So we read 8% of the story today, but it feels like we made a lot of story progression, you know? Like, again, what did we do? we talked about moving and everything. We figured all that out. We visited Francis's family and figured that all out. And then we have Rye here, and again, we're still moving forward with more moving in plans and going public. And now it's Francis's birthday, and like next time we play this, like a lot has happened in this one. Like it's been so eventful, and it's all been so good. So I'm just really excited to like get back into reading it next time, just because like I don't know. One of the things I like about like a lot of the visual novels I've been reading on the live streams is that they're just all so well paced. Like I've talked about this before, but like comparing it to like other visual novels that I've read, they're just all so slow in the beginning, or even like seeing other people read. Like they're all just so slow at so many parts, especially the beginning. Whereas a lot of the visual novels I've been reading over here on Twitch and over like with like Please Be Happy over on my other YouTube channel, like they're all just like, they're not all like fast paced. They just feel appropriately placed. There's never like a long section of just like, okay, well here's just a bunch of boring junk that you're not gonna care about, you know? Or it's just gonna be a bunch of exposition to help like build out the world instead of like trying to fit it in more naturally, or trying to like spread it out a little bit more, so then it's not like just like 30-40 minutes of just exposition essentially, you know? So like that's how like here, like it just felt like right, you know? It felt like very well paced. Like we're just like all of these like events lined up, and so they just like fell down like dominoes, you know? Like all these things have been set up for a long time, and so like this was just a chunk of the story where all those dominoes like fell, you know what I mean? So it was very good, like get these payoffs, like so many of these little things, like finally going public, moving the plot forward with them getting together, and especially the family thing. Like that was a big one that's been building up for a while, you know? Well, both that and the moving in thing together have been like plots that have been building up for a while. So it's like very satisfying that they've like now been paid off, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm really excited to like get into the next one and just to see where the story goes, because like again, before we've always had like a sort of like track of where it's going, and like multiple things getting built up and like now being paid off, like I said before. But now we have like the only thing moving forward is still like the moving in together thing. Like that's the thing that needs to be paid off now essentially. But I'm not really sure where else in the story has to like go necessarily, if that makes sense. Because again, before there were always like trails to follow. Now it feels like we have like one solid track to follow. I guess there's also like Francis's like what she wants to do and her life as like librarian and everything like that with her like profession and everything, and where she wants to go with that. So that's like technically two trails right there. But again, like they're very, the moving in one is like close to being paid off, it feels like, you know? Like maybe next time we stream we'll get to see them move in together, and if not, then it's just going to take a little bit longer, which is totally fine. Because even when like big plot events aren't happening, like it's all just entertaining to read, you know? Which is another thing that not a lot of visual novels do super well. Like I'll just use Fate as an example. Like in some like sections of the story, it'll be like, here's like some in-between stuff, like some chill time between the big story events. And sometimes I'm saying like, gosh darn, this is great, this is amazing, I'm loving this. And other times I'm like, can we just like move on, you know? Like I don't think that often, but I haven't felt that at all here. Whenever it's like in between like the big plot beats, and it's just sort of like, you know, like the lower time of like Francis kind of going about her day and like the plot's like building, I'm like, yeah, no, this is still super entertaining. It's just well-written characters in well-written scenes doing stuff, you know what I mean? So yeah, no, it's all very good. I'm excited for more. With all that being said, I'll see all ya beautiful people in the next one.